What's up everybody, I'm Brian from I Want Tesla, and today I was going to try to expose Tesla on something that they haven't fixed for a very long time, but it looks like they fixed it right before I did it, before I filmed this. So yes, I was going to try to expose and really find out for myself what was wrong with the Model X, why the Model X shakes. There's a Model X shake, not the Harlem shake, but a Model X shake is really when you accelerate hard, that front motor torques, the front motor torques, it does not torque. The torque of the rear motor kind of lifts the car up a little bit. As it's lifting it up, extends the suspension, and then will extend the drive shafts to the front wheels. And there's a little slippage, there's shaking that goes on, the motor might shake a little bit. It was really bad when we first got the car, and it happens when you're in the standard height. And that's one of the reasons why you can't put it in launch mode without lowering the car all the way. It will lower the car enough where it won't, the back end won't sag as much and won't lift the front end as much. So it kind of prevents that from happening, because when you put it in launch mode, that's going to put all that 760 or 7 whatever now to the car, and it's going to, most of it's going to go to the rear. But they've tweaked the front Model 3 motor in the Model X Raven edition to have a little bit more power. I've noticed with the last update, we actually chirp the tires now. The update we're on now is 2019.36.2.1. That just came out. That was a patch fix for 36.1. And really the cars that are getting this have full self-driving, from what I understand. They have full self-driving, they have the 3.0 computer, except for some of the early adopters, they might be testing the 2.5. But you have to have full self-driving to get this. My Model 3 has not gotten it. Elon, if you're watching, I'm gonna tweet this out.
Not listening. Not listening.
I would like the extra boost in power. I don't have full self-driving on this, but I'm going to the track in 2 weeks, and I'm going to be beating up on some Ferraris and Porsches, and I'd really like the extra power to really show them what your cars can do. So what I did, I pulled out the frunk of the car, pulled out the air cleaner, and I set up a GoPro inside the car. The first couple of videos are the passenger side. I set the GoPro there with a light inside the frunk so we can see, but the passenger side is where it's like a double hinge type of motor mount for the Model 3 motor. I thought that was where the motor was shaking, or I thought something shake was going on there. But that moves quite a bit, and you can see when I accelerate and then let off on the accelerator, how that torque moves that motor quite a bit, or how that motor is actually moving in the mounts a lot. I didn't think it would move that much. So I'm thinking they might have it move that much so that you don't really break anything. So the second part of this, move the GoPro a little closer to see if I can see any mechanical movement other than that motor mount, and see if I can see the drive shaft coming out of that motor. It's really hard to see in there. Really hard to set up a camera in a good spot where it wouldn't fall off and be crushed. This next set of videos is on the driver's side. The driver's side doesn't really move that much. It really just moves up and down. It pivots on one side, just moves up and down, and still rotates back and forth a little bit with the torque of the motor. So the driver's side is pretty stationary. I think all the movement is going to be on the passenger side, if anything. All the shaking of any of the drive shaft issue would be on the passenger side. And while I'm doing these tests, I experienced no shake whatsoever. There was a little tiny shake, a little bit here and there, but really nothing much at all. So what I did, I took the GoPro and attached it to the suspension system underneath the car. I just thought this was really cool. I like taking stuff apart, so I like to see how things work. And I just drove around a little bit, flooring it once in a while to see how the suspension moved up and down. You can see the air ride moving up and down because I had to jack it all the way up just to put the GoPro on there. But I attached it to the bottom A-arm. I taped it to the frame at one point, and I put it on, I think I put it on the tie rod as well. So I couldn't get the shake to happen. So I couldn't expose Tesla. Not really to expose Tesla, because you know I'm a fanboy. I really didn't want to expose them. I really wanted to find out what the problem was or what the issue was and see about coming up with a solution. But I couldn't replicate the shake that I got in the beginning of owning the car. So I think this latest update has fixed part of the issue. A lot of the update was for the front motor of the Model X, of the Raven Model X and Model S. It put more torque, it tweaked the torque, oof, that's weird, but it tweaked the torque out of that motor to do whatever. I don't know what it did exactly, but when that motor twisted back, it stayed back the whole time. So I don't know if there wasn't enough torque going to those and it was bouncing off of that motor mount, and that could have been the shake. Not positive, but now there's even more power to it, so it's not shaking now. But still, that motor mount moves quite a bit. That motor moves a lot, which is way more than I thought it would. I was extremely surprised once I watched the footage of that motor moving so much. I love to show how it's made, so that's one of the reasons I did this. I think if they did something where they had a more magnetic shock back there, that once you floor it, they can electronically do this. Once you floor it, it tightens up that shock so it doesn't lift as much. I mean, obviously you're gonna have lift with 760 horsepower and even more torque, like nine something torque. You're gonna have some lift, but this is a heavy car. So if they tightened up the shock in the back and then the strut up front, and it wouldn't expand so much. It would stay closer together. I think that could be something that they can tweak with this new suspension, with the new high dynamic suspension in the Raven cars. And I think they will tweak that in the future, and it will get even better. And maybe that's kind of what they did. I don't know. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. I'm not an engineer. But if you are a Tesla engineer and you're watching this video, please leave a comment down below or email me. I'd like to know the answers. I'd like to talk to you about some other questions too. Or hit me up. I'm going to be at the Model Y event. Haven't gotten an invite. No one's gotten an invite yet. But I'm going to be there either way. I'm going to be filming the line. I'm going to be there. Come find me. I'll be the one wearing one of these shirts. Just like last year. I won't wear the red one. I stood out too much in the red one last year. As always, stay awesome, stay positive, and I'll catch you on the next one.